Welcome to the Ultimate Mixtape, an interactive podcast on a mission to create an epic playlist. With submissions from your host, creative guests, and superfans along the way. What songs will make the cut? This podcast is about music, friends, and memories. Share your favorite stories on www.theultimatemixtape.com to join in the podcast fun. Here's your host, Jess Manzilla.
What's up, everybody? This is Jess Manzilla, and with me as always, I have Jimmy McFadden. In this episode, we are chatting with Jared K., formerly of Magnolia Park. We talk about his transition into making his own music and what the future holds for him, but Jared is also making music under the new moniker called Sxntry, and we'll be performing at Emo Night on May the 18th, so we're really excited to see him there, and he's actually at that show with friend of the show, Hunter DeBlanc. Here's our interview with Jared. Welcome, Jared, aka Sxntry. Thank you for being on the show today. We're so excited to have you here. I know that you're excited about this new project that you've been working on. Can you tell us a little bit about Sxntry and what projects you're currently doing and collaborations you might be doing now?
It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me. Yeah, for sure, I can. Because Sxntry is a very, very new project to many people. So Sxntry is I'm trying to find a cool way of just saying a pop artist, but it's a pop project, a solo pop project with, like electronic influences, indie, definitely like emo and pop punk because those are my roots. Yep. But it's a new solo venture of mine. I like to call it Soul Venture 3.0. I've done this several times. This is just the next venture because I've been playing music for 2 decades now. Mm-hmm. And yeah, this is just the next part of that venture of me doing solo music. But I think definitely the most mature yet. And hopefully I'm the one that's going to stay.
Yeah, I mean, I came across your stuff on TikTok because you've got like your new music playing that way. But then I realized that you were doing Emo Night and I was like, okay, now I gotta check this guy out, see what he's about. How does it feel, making music for yourself now solo as opposed to being with a band?
It's cool because there's downsides and there's upsides too. I mean, the upside is that it's your vision, you do what you want, you call all the shots, but that's also the downside. Right. As being a part of Magnolia Park, my last band, and then any bands in the past, I've been in several bands. The best thing about a band is that you can rely on other people. Solo project, it all falls on you. So all of your accomplishments, all your fuck ups, that is all on you. So the project's not going to move forward unless you're the one doing all the work. Mm-hmm. And I do like that because I'm a person that, I have pretty high determination. I take pride in what I do. So it definitely works for me. Yeah. I'm excited that I can do this like indie pop electronic sound that I've never really been able to do. All other projects have been very emo or maybe pop rock. So the fact that this one's going very like synth wave and pop bass it's exciting. I'm happy to be doing this, especially now after so much experience in Magnolia Park and being in the industry and touring. Like I feel like I'm so much more prepared than I was in the past when I was like, a high schooler trying to do it, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, since you've been in the music industry for such a long time, been with bands, touring, what actually got you started then? Like, were you always interested in playing music? Did you have one common thing we keep seeing is like someone's parents made them play an instrument that they never wanted to play. Right. They just going. So what got you into it?
So I would say like from an early age, I always had an attraction to music, always loved it when I was young. My mom was not the one that forced me and my brother to do anything, but her approach I really like compared to like forcing kids to do things is that she introduced us to sports, to music, to art, dancing, everything. Mm-hmm. And we just kind of picked what we wanted, and what I picked was music. I fully started like saying, oh, I want to be a musician when I was 10 because I came across Sum 41's The Hell Song at my 10th birthday party and I loved it. Yeah, yeah, I know. But it was a hell of a run though. But yeah, so I came across that song. And then that kind of got me into bands like Relient K and Blink-182, and then going into like, God, I had a big like metalcore, post-hardcore scene with like Chidos and Seosin and Our Last Night and all these bands. And you know, one thing led to another. It led to me playing my first show at like a end of the school show, you know, just playing a shitty Avenged Sevenfold cover. And then that spitballed into my entire high school, me playing with shitty local bands that, you know, would go out and play donut shops or skate parks or literally a hot dog restaurant. I don't know why. And then it spitballed to college, where I went to Valencia College in here in Orlando for sound technology and also a vocal major. And then, you know, then I started playing in bands here, and then I joined Mag Park after so many failed bands. You know, it's just one thing leads to another. So I've always loved music, and you know, I'm still here, I think, because of that, because there's a lot of people that get into music and they stop because, you know, they find something else. So I guess I'm in it for life at this point, because I'm 31 and it's just, it hasn't stopped. So
right. But to me, you learn from every one of those experiences. So it's like you're where you are right now because of all those experiences that you've had. So,
everything's a building block for sure. Everything,
right.
And you know, so many, I know this is so redundant. So many people say, but it's like, you fail so many times to get where you are. And that's it's so true from what I've went through as a musician, and how many times I've just played shitty shows or fucked up or didn't deliver my best. So, you know, it all leads you to where you want to be, and music's where I want to be. So I'm still here, and farthest I've ever been, which is crazy, especially after last year.
It's awesome. I know you brought up Magnolia Park. Are there any like lessons that you learned like from them or even previous bands like that you're going to put into your solo career?
I think the experience that I got from being in Magnolia Park really gave me everything. Not everything, you can always learn more, but gave me so much that I didn't have. I mean, we were a local band that I had just joined in 2020 that spent the entire COVID pandemic creating content and doing TikTok and writing music and doing music videos, and then blew up on TikTok and grew from being this small little local band to an upcoming pop punk band that, you know, was on really cool tours. And the thing about that is that, like, I'm very business oriented. Like, I like knowing all the details. I like being a part of all the major discussions because I know how it impacts a career. So I made sure to pay attention for all that with, you know, with label meetings, manager meetings, with touring. I was our tour manager as well for several of those tours. So I learned so much just jumping from being a local band to then our first tour was the Mayday Parade. So touring like a pretty, you know, with veterans and learning the terminology and stage design, you know, how to be a tour manager, how to prepare them to then jump onto our next thing was Sad Summerfest. So then jump to a festival. So I guess all of that was just so much experience because I was very hands-on and I cared about, you know, how we held ourselves as the newbies of the industry, of the scene. So yeah, everything like that has definitely helped me with how I'm planning Sxntry as far as branding, social media, making content, songwriting. I mean, we're not touring or anything yet, but even with, you know, this emo night show coming up, I mean, it was the connections that I made through my time in Mag Park that got me this gig with the emo night, because I love emo nights. Fucking great company, and I'm so happy that that's my first show with them. And so
it's huge. Like they're like, it seems like they're every other night they have one in some cities, so it's like this could be one of many for you to get out more.
Exactly. And I, you know, we worked with emo night with Mag Park. They had us at the emo night Vegas vacation in fall. It was October of 2021, and we got to open for MGK, Mod Sun, The Main. Avril Lavigne was back on stage for the first time in a decade. So it was, that was such a cool show. I love emo night. I'm so happy to be sharing my first set with that company, with that party.
Awesome. Well, we're definitely looking forward to seeing you for sure.
Yeah, thank you.
So for songwriting, like who are your biggest like influences for songwriting?
It's tough. It's tough because I feel like I just feel like most people have like there are 5 people that they always mention, like, yeah, this is always my inspiration, but like mine changes because I really like being on top of like where the scene is, like who's new in music, who's doing cool shit. Like the veterans, everyone knows what they're doing, you know, because everyone's talking about this. So I like listening to the new people. So a really big obstacle I had to come over was I had writer's block for a very long time, and it kind of continued into Mag Park. But obviously, look what I was saying before, Sxntry, it's all on me. I gotta write the music. No one else is gonna do it unless I hire them. So I've been listening to a lot of what's that?
A little AI action.
Oh yeah, there's the AI though, which I don't know if it's good. I might have to partake in that also, but for now it's on me. But I've been taking a lot of influence by newer bands like Knox, Loveless, John Harvey, Games We Play, Arrows in Action, a smaller band called Chief. Like I've been listening to new stuff because I like what new artists are doing right now. I think it's very innovative. I think that it's nostalgic, but it doesn't all depend on nostalgia for them. And it's just, it's cool to see all these artists that are blowing up on TikTok and other social medias and are just writing really catchy music that still has integrity.
Right.
So those are definitely some really big modern influences. Older ones would be Reliant K. I love Matt Thiessen. I think he's an incredible songwriter. I've always loved, I think of big people from the past, but I'm so focused on the like what's here now. But yeah, let's go with Matt Thiessen for like older stuff. I just think he's incredible. And
I think that's a cool answer because normally you would hear like all the groups that are like well established for 10 plus years, but I like the newer stuff. That's actually a really cool like answer and great way to look at it. Because like I said, everyone always says the older groups, so it's like TikTok and stuff, you know, that's the new stuff and you got to jump into it, especially with content. So
for sure.
What kind of sound, I know you mentioned pop punk, but what kind of sound are you expecting from the new solo crew with Sxntry?
I'm not too sure 100% because what I realize, and this isn't the case for all artists, some artists I think start and they have their sound, you know, they just know what they're doing. And I think I know my sound, but as I go from writing in a group to writing on my own, you know, I'm not too sure what that's going to mean for me because I have 5 songs that I'm sitting on right now. Have not been able to release them yet, but that will be soon. And those songs were more collaborations with me writing. Like I had a very big hand in lyrics and melody and you know the meanings of the song. But as far as instrumentals, I didn't really know how to write pop music. Like I know how to play 5 instruments, I know how to write a song, but I just couldn't really grasp that like synth wave electronic indie sound. So it was like kind of a collaborative effort. So now that I'm writing my own music from scratch and I went into the studio, I recorded 1 song.
Nice.
It's different. It's different than the 5 songs I have. And I think what the sound is going to become is going to be very it's still going to be pop. It's probably going to have more of a like emo pop punk like vocal delivery, but not as angsty, more soft. Because I've noticed finally after years of singing that angsty singing is just not really for me. It's really like I'm more because I'm classically trained, so I think that's just kind of ingrained in my brain. I think it's going to be I don't know. I would love to see my style go towards like a Fly By Midnight, if you know Fly By Midnight, or maybe even like I should have said this for a songwriter, Andrew McMahon from Something Corporate and Jack's Mannequin and
we will this is a whole nother episode that you just opened up for us.
Okay. I love that man. I love him as a songwriter, and you know what, that I would love to see my music kind of evolve like he evolves with his music. Because, you know, I'm very piano based. And so is he. And I'm, you know, then surprised, you know, and then coincidentally, his newest project, what is it? Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness is now very pop. So maybe that's my journey. Maybe my journey is doing something like that. But I don't really know right now, but I know it'll be music that's very heartfelt because I don't like songs that mean nothing. I know they have their place in the world, but I just can't stand songs that are just nonsense. So it'll always be meaningful. And I'll always try to be catchy because I just love catchy shit.
Nice.
Yeah, probably that for now.
Actually, I kind of want to go back to the new music that you were talking about, because you're kind of on that cusp of like some of the other bands that I've been catching up with on TikTok, where like they're really reaching large audiences that way. Even like Florida bands right now are getting really hot. Like this area, especially for like a pop punk, like emo sound, with call it the emo revival coming back. What do you think that impact is on music right now? Because a lot of the newer bands are emulating some things like that, like 408, like they have all their stuff about Mark Hoppus, and you know they love Blink-182, but like a lot of the bands have like a little bit of a nod to the older bands, but like you said, they're really taking on like new sounds.
I think it's tough for me to answer that. I think like when you look at music history, like you see that there's always scratch all that. I think the point is that like I think as we get older, and I've thought this so many times to myself, it's like, how is music going to change? Like what is possibly going to be done next to music that has not been done? And I think this is a huge impact for the scene, because I think within rock genres, it feels like the fan base gets sick of what's going on. Like it always needs to kind of change. And, you know, every genre changes, obviously, but I feel like, and I could be wrong about this, feel like mainstream music, and I'm thinking like Drake and Ariana Grande and, you know, artists that are huge like that, I feel like their style doesn't really change. Like it does, but not as common as like rock genres, especially like the pop punk emo scene. Like we're going through changes, like I feel like every 5 years. I mean, even in Orlando, I've been in Orlando for 10 years, and even in the music scene, like since I moved here like 10 years ago to now, the local scene has changed probably 8 times. And I think it's no different than nationally and internationally within the scene. I think it's a great thing to see that all of these bands are experimenting with new genres. And 408's a great example, because super pop punk, super Blink-182 heavy inspired, but then they have like EDM elements, which I think is fucking cool. I will always be there to defend EDM and rock because I just think it's a cool combination. So I think it's good for the scene. I think it will keep people that have been a part of the scene interested, and I think it helps get the next generation into it, because what's cool right now is that pop punk and emo it's financially like successful right now. And that's why it's back. Like, you know, people are saying, oh, pop punk's back, emo's back. It's like, it was never gone. It's just now people are making money doing it, which is important. Yeah. You know, I think it's a great thing. I think it's good. I think it reinvents the wheel with the genre, and it keeps people kind of fresh and ready, and inspires new people, you know, because not everybody wants to sound like Blink-182 or Reliant K or, you know, whoever is the next band. So I think it's really cool.
Well, and even on like your Instagram, when people go follow you, which they will, your little blurb says like you're writing music to make people feel better, right? So how important is it to you to like relate like mental health through your music? And I feel like more bands are putting themselves out there that way right now.
It's very important to me, mostly because of the impact that the music that I listened to in the past has helped me through, you know, mental obstacles. You know, middle school, high school, growing up sucks for pretty much 80% of people, I feel like. And music helped me. It helped me get through a lot of really terrible things in my life. It continues to do that for me. And I like to think that if I can write a song that has impact, that it positively impacts one person, then it's worth writing.
It's a win.
Yeah, always. Because I mean, I don't know, I guess it's just music is a very powerful thing. And yeah, I want to write music for a purpose. Like I was saying before, like I don't like meaningless songs. Like not that meaningless songs won't make somebody feel good or make somebody feel something, it doesn't have to have meaning, but for me, it's like, I just really love powerful music. Everything that I write about is a very powerful emotion, and usually it's sad. I'm trying to change that and write more happy music as well, because you can't be sad forever. But yeah, I think it's very important. I think it's important for kids that feel like they don't have anybody, that they have somebody that, I mean, you listen to a song, most of the time you're wrong about what it's about, but you think you know what it's about, and most of the time you're feeling the same thing that the person that wrote the song, you feel the position they were in. So yeah, I think it's important. It's definitely important to me, and I'm happy that that's still around. I'm glad that people are wearing their heart on their sleeve and that they're opening up about experiences, especially like political experiences as well. I mean, we live in a time where that's very important. I actively think that we should bring back the punk bands that trash their fucking government every single day. So I'm happy to see people open up and not be shy about talking about personal experiences, no matter how hurtful they are to them.
Can you tell us about one of your most memorable shows that you've ever played?
Yes, I can. Every musician will say, especially once you start touring, a lot of shows blend together. They're like, well, what city was it in? I don't know. They all like the same. What venue was it? They all like the same. We play the same song every night. But yeah, there are a few. The one, I'll say two. The most memorable one was a show I played with Magnolia Park last summer at the Nile Theater in Arizona, in the Mesa, Arizona. We were on an off date from Sad Summer Fest. We had just started Sad Summer Fest, and then we had an off date with Neck Deep, and it was us and Games We Play supporting. And it's the middle of the summer. It was in the middle of the desert, obviously Mesa, Arizona, and there was a heat wave, and the venue's AC was out. It was hot as shit. But Neck Deep announced these shows, and they booked instantly. I mean, it was 300 capacity. So basically, we were playing a show with a bunch of Neck Deep fans, which should correlate pretty well with what we were doing with our sound. But I remember where it's just hot as fuck. We were in like the basement, like the green room is a basement there, and we walked upstairs, and you could just instantly just like cut the humidity with a damn knife. Like, it was so hot. And we were like, oh, I don't know, this show's really gonna do that good. I don't even know if we can play in these conditions. And I remember we walk on stage and everybody just started losing their fucking minds. And we've played some really cool shows. Like, we did the Mayday tour that, we already did the Mayday tour. We did a few Sad Summer tour shows, but that was the first time that like people just like lost our shit for us.
That's awesome.
For me, for the band. And the energy was there. And despite it being like 115 degrees in that venue, we checked. Like, people were just going all about it. Mosh pits everywhere, jumping up and down, singing with us. And yeah, that definitely takes the cake. Like, the fact that they just packed that room and just gave us their all, regardless of the condition they were in, was insane. I remember going to merch after, and like everybody just looked like a drowned rat because everyone's just wet, hair is flat to their head, makeup's gone, clothes are drenched. Like, they put their all into that. So it was a really cool one. Honorable mention to like any show that I played in the UK. People in the industry, I've always said like, oh, UK fans are just different. Like, they're just different. They go ape shit. So we played Slam Dunk, both Slam Dunk dates, and then we did what was it? We did a little co-headline run with Little Lotus, and we played like 4 off dates in smaller venues, and that was like post COVID for them, because they stayed shut down. Their borders were shut a lot longer than ours. So we were like we were kind of a part of like some of the first tours there. And I remember we played downtown London, and like, I swear nobody in that room knew who we were. They just were there because it was some sort of like not an emo night event, but some sort of like alt night, and like people were just going fucking crazy. So yeah, they didn't know who we were, but it
didn't matter.
So it was fun. Like, yeah, those 2 shows for sure. Yeah, but most shows were really cool. I mean, there were really not any shows that I played where I was like, wow, this was just a fucking shit show. Like, so fun. Probably just because I love it. I love what I'm doing,
Slam Dunk is like an iconic festival. Like, every time I see it, I'm always like sad I don't live there. Because they make
it was really cool. It was my first time ever being in the UK and first time seeing the festival, but like super heavy, like Warped Tour vibes. Not as many stages. It was like maybe actually it was like 5 stages, but they get great bands on it and the fans are just so fucking into it. We were really worried that like we were gonna play to nobody because we were on like the smallest stage. But it was like God, how do I explain it? It was like at the stage and it was like a split stage. So the smallest stage, they would rotate bands. It'd be like one band would be playing on the left side, on the right side, it'd be set, the next band would be setting up. So they kind of did that to give everybody their time. And maybe it was a capacity of like, I want to say maybe like 500 in this giant tent area, and it was full for us for the most part. Which you really worry when you're like a newer band on the scene because local bands, they think, this is, I didn't mean to phrase like that's not the right thing to say. Basically, like, as a local band, somebody that thought this way, you think like once you get signed, you start touring, okay, you're good, you made it. But then you got to compete with all like big fish. So us being on that festival and like Sum 41 was a headliner, like bands like that, like we were just like, can we fucking compare? So it was really cool that like the people will actually go from stage to stage and see people. They won't just like stand and just wait for like one band. And nothing against American fans, but like the UK fans were just so different about that. Like they wanted to support everybody.
That's awesome.
Very cool to see.
Yeah.
Awesome. I think that's kind of interesting because I mean, I've never gone to a show technically like overseas. But you always hear about bands like blowing up in other countries first and then coming back home and then slowly building here. So that's pretty cool. I love the idea that like they support all the musicians so much.
It's a cool thing to see. And it's really just like that for, I can't talk about like the other scenes over there, but as far as like pop punk, all emo, like they don't get American bands very often because it's expensive as hell and it's a big hassle to go over there. So when they get it, they really show up. It's very cool to see.
So we're talking about the emo days and everything. When you were in high school, what kind of emo were you? Were you like a Vans emo, a Chuck's emo, a Hunter? He was like a puka shell emo because he showed us pictures. So like a Hollister trend at one point.
Oh God, what was I? I think Vans. I did not like Chucks. I thought Chucks were really ugly when I was in high school, but now I wear them all the time. So, and I don't like how I look in Vans, which is funny. I'm pretty sure I probably had some Vans. What fucking shoes did I wear? I was a part of that trend where like people were wearing skater shoes, like the big poofy shoes. So I think I had some like DCs or some shit, some like big ass shoe for no reason, but probably some Vans also. I think I had the checkered Vans. Oh no, I was an interesting breed of.
Are puffy shoes cool now? Like, didn't they come back in some weird way?
Not the like rhinos and the DCs, but definitely poofy shoes, just not the ones I was wearing. But yeah, Converse all the way now though. Yeah, I don't like how I look in Vans, but Vans are still sick. It just don't look on my foot, I guess.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. So going back to the show question, I meant to ask you this before. If you could tour with anybody, who would it be? Like, what's the dream scenario?
Toured with a lot of bands that I really wanted to, which is cool. But there's got to be more though. I mean, Relient K. I don't know how feasible that would be, but I'd fucking love it. I just love Relient K. I love all their music. If they said we want Sxntry to open, I fucking take in a heartbeat. Probably some different bands because like with Mag Park, like you kind of like obviously there's like the bands that's like it makes sense you would tour with them, and then there's the bands you're just like this makes no sense, but I would just fucking love to do it because I'm a fan. And there are a lot of those with Mag Park, but like Relient K never seemed like too feasible with them, but I would fucking love that. I mean, who would turn down anything by like the band Camino is a band I really love. I'd love to support the band Camino. It'd be really cool. I feel like I have to say like a band like 1975 with being like in pop now, like, and they are incredible. I love their shows. I love their music.
Yeah, we just saw them. They were at Fort Lauderdale, like late last year.
Was that the festival, Sunset Fest or something?
Yeah.
Chris Carrabba was hanging out with them. Didn't he play a song?
Oh yeah. They hopped. I think Maddie hopped on stage with Dashboard. Yeah, I remember some pictures. I was like, damn, Chris. Yeah, we'll leave it at those. I mean, I'm sure there's more. There's a lot of like newer bands I'd like to tour with. I mean, I think Airs in Action, First and Forever, I got their shirt on. You know, the Home Team, Honey Revenge. I mean, all these bands are so great. I'm just super excited about like the next generation. Not that I don't love the veterans, but I'm just so excited for the music that's coming out now. And I find myself listening to that way more than anything from the past, even though there's obviously a special place in my heart for all the emo veteran bands and all that.
Yeah, so it could be one of the groups that newer groups that you just mentioned, but obviously this podcast is called Ultimate Mixtape. So if you could pick a song, like what you're listening to now, or what song would you like to add to our mixtape? We're gonna add a song from each episode and then make a mixtape at the end, or a
I like that. That's sick. Okay. Fuck, this is gonna be really hard. Does it have to be a certain genre? Or just
it can be anything.
Anything. God,
anytime, literally anything.
Okay. So I wanna plug a few because there's a few I've had on repeat. So the first one is a collaboration with Sad Boys. Let's see, what is it? It's a song called In Love. And it's a project where they mix EDM and like pop punk emo, which I think is so fucking cool. So it's a collaboration with Caslo, Sad Boys, and then Mika Martin. It's called In Love.
Okay.
That song is really fucking cool. It's just stupid catchy. Heart Attack Man's new song, Like a Kennedy, is hilarious and super catchy as well. Then there's another one called Snake Eyes by an artist called Aries. Oh, my dog is poking his head in. What you doing, buddy?
Yes, bring him in.
You coming in, or what you doing?
He wants to be a part of this.
Come on, go on your bed. Go on your bed. Here you go. Okay, he's gonna come. Yeah, here he is. Snake Eyes by Aries is another song. That was just like kind of teasing that song for a few months. It finally dropped. It's super good, but
nice.
Let's go with Heart Attack Man's Like a Kennedy.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we're gonna add a list and like have like 20 or 25 songs and make a set list out of it at the end. So
sounds good. I'll have to listen to that. Sick, but hard to pick though. A lot of really cool music coming out right now.
Yep, agree.
Yeah, didn't you have your own playlist posted somewhere?
I do. I have a stream playlist for my Spooky Boy X Twitch streaming. So when I'm just like chatting or maybe playing a game where the music's like, we don't need to listen to the music. I try to throw on as many like newer bands. I mean, I try to avoid the DMCA, bands that get signed. Sometimes that gets dicey, but I throw on who I can. I think it's like 160 songs, and I try to keep it like a good mix of like newer artists, maybe some throwbacks, but for the most part, everything's pretty new. Some unsigned bands or bands that are signed to like smaller labels or indie labels.
Nice.
But I always try to add to that. Need my jams when I'm streaming.
Love to see it. So we talked about this a little bit earlier, but you are playing Emo Night on May 18th, so that'll be coming up next week here in Orlando at the Beacham, and that's where you're going to premiere some of your new music, right?
All of it, pretty much all of it. At least 4 of 5 songs. I mean, I can't play a piano ballad because Snoozeville, but I can play the rest of them. So I'm premiering 4 new songs, awesome. Which is really cool. I'm a little nervous, but actually very nervous, but it's okay. It's just new things are exciting, but
it means you care.
I mean, I wasn't expecting to play shows. Like, I've been working on this project for about a year now. Been sitting on these songs. I haven't gotten to release anything on Spotify yet. Be soon, but like Chris hit me up, and so did TJ from Emo Night. He's just like, hey, do you want to play this event? I'm just like, it's fucking Emo Night. How can I say no to this? It's cool for a show. So I kind of rushed to get all the stems, get everything together, and kind of adjust to the role also where I'm once again the front man because,
Yep.
I was very active on stage in Mag Park as the bassist, the backup singer, but now it's, all eyes on me. So get used to that, get used to playing where a majority of the instruments are backtracks as well, because it's all synth based. But I do have a drummer with me, which is really cool.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. It's cool.
Yep.
Nervous but excited.
What do you think people are gonna feel when they finally hear like all these tracks all together?
Oh, that's a good question. I think I feel very thankful. I feel like people are very excited about it. More than I anticipated, because when you leave a popular project, you kind of wonder, like, and you're not the singer, you kind of wonder, it's like, do people give a fuck? Do people really care what you're doing?
Yep.
And instantly after saying that I was leaving Mag Park, people took interest without even knowing what it was. And I feel like even though it's a slow game on TikTok with me right now, like I've built up 800 people there already. And there's people in my Discord that are just really excited for it. So I think people are really gonna like it.
Nice.
I'm a little nervous that it's like pop. It's not, I'm not an emo band playing emo night, but I think the scene is very diverse in our taste now. And I don't think we gatekeep anything. We don't hold artists in the scene to be a certain standard. And I think we embrace kind of things that are new. So I think people are going to really like it. I hope it's not too slow because, it's very vibey. But I have a few covers in there of some older emo bands that people will like to help sing along. And it'll be a good time. I think the whole point of emo night is just have a good time and play a show. It's nothing super serious. You're not playing Jimmy Kimmel. It's a good time. People are there to just enjoy it, but yeah, it'd be cool.
That's awesome. We can't wait to hear it. It's gonna be fun to actually meet you in person, and we really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us today. It was probably cut out at the beginning, but we had some audio issues, and you could probably hear it if you're listening now. But I really appreciate you being so kind and still talking with us and letting us know about your new music, because I'm always excited for new projects, especially local ones. It's so easy for us to like drive to these different cities in Florida, and we've been to, like Stanford, Miami, like it's just so fun, like getting out and like meeting new people at these things. So it's been awesome talking to you, but can you just let everybody know like where they can find you and your new music?
Yes. First of all, thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Love chatting with you too. I'm excited to meet you next week. It'll be really cool emo night. So like I said, nothing's available on Spotify, Apple Music, or anything yet. It will be soon. I'm hoping for a summer release of the songs on everybody's TikTok. For now, follow me on it's Sxntry official on all socials. So Sxntry with X instead of E. So SXNTRY official on Instagram, Twitter. I mean, if you want to hear music, go on TikTok. That's where I tease a lot of stuff. But yeah, socials for now, and we'll get that release going soon.
Hell yeah. Nice.
We'll post that stuff for you, for everybody to give you a follow. And again, thank you so much for your time today.
For sure. Appreciate it. Nice meeting you both.
You too. We'll see you next week.
Yeah. See you later.
All right. Thank you guys so much for listening. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe everywhere that you get your podcast. And please don't forget to send your favorite songs to our website, theultimatemixtape.com, under the contact section. And while you're at it, please check out our blog. There's a lot of reviews about recent shows we went to, pictures that I've taken. So there's a lot of concerts coming up. So we hope to see you at a show soon.
Thanks so much for listening. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.